Welcome to Collage of Health. Thanks for being here today. It is September 21st, 2024. I am going to get into the Akashic Weather Report, which was kind of like in riddles. It felt like riddles came through today more than anything. But before I do, I want to mention I had talked about Poland yesterday. And also, I think on the 17th, a couple days before, and I also had mentioned Hungary. And I think that they came up for multiple reasons, but one of them might have been there's flooding that's taking place. Apparently, I heard today in Europe, and I didn't get this directly from the news, but I was hearsay that they also had a state of emergency in parts of Poland. So I'm wondering if that is why Hungary and Poland in part came up recently. Just want to mention a little tip for your plants. I want to include some other Collage of Health tips in here besides just the Akashic Weather Report. And so the tip of the day is to use coffee grounds in your plants that are acidic. So you'll have to look up if this is something that would be a good fertilizer for your plants. But it's just kind of nice to use the grounds to recycle them in a direct way that can provide nutrients to like lemon trees or banana trees if you have those in planters, if you live in a climate such as I do in the Southeast, or blueberry bushes, which you might have. You could just put them around your blueberry bushes and just cover it with dirt and put some water down to just get that those nutrients really into the soil. And then if you have a paper filter, you can always recycle that, or not recycle, compost it in a composting bin if you have one. And if you want to put the grounds directly in a compost bin, they make great nutrients for your compost. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the riddles of today. There was also some what I felt like was remote viewing that I did in Iran, and I can get into that once I get there. So I saw like crystal rain in the beginning, almost like this crystal rain that became like blue rain, and then this blue corridor that I was walking down. And then I went up to like a higher realm from there, and I felt like God was saying, I will come in the face of many, watch for the one that calls your name. And then I heard the little riddle again, weebles wobbles and they don't fall down. And so I asked, do you mean resiliency? And I got a sense it meant truth. So it felt like the truth stands, that if it doesn't stand, it's not the truth. And if it has legs and stands, it's the truth. Pay attention to signs that will be coming faster. You're hearing me correctly. And then I was taken to a scene from the Last Supper. And as opposed to yesterday or the day before when the Last Supper came up, where it felt like kind of a sad event, today it felt like this magnificent event. And it was just this sense of power and magnitude of this event in history. And I said, was I a part of this? And I got a sense I was under the table and helping to hold the table up. So I thought that was an interesting metaphor, visual. A street in Asheville called Haywood Street came up. And then I felt like my hair was tingling. And I was told to walk down a corridor of faith. A new day awaits for all of you. And I wasn't sure if it was like all of me or all of us. And I got a sense it was both. I saw cow dung. And then the troops will march in and it will be like before, almost like a flashback to the past. Stop gaps in time. I see a cannon. something blasting out of a cannon, war zones, areas partitioned off, a donkey, Egypt, pyramids, magnificence, sand, heat, chic Muslims, prayer, child who's inquisitive, talking to an elder, a new day awaits with the golden age, almost like better days will come after the hardship that the planet's experiencing now and may continue to experience for a while longer. All will be righted eventually. And then I felt like there was stakes in the earth, almost like significant areas of interest in the world. And I didn't see where they were specifically today, except these, areas that were staked. Caterpillars will become butterflies. Caterpillars will become butterflies. Let's see. Figure this out. Where are we? If they make it through the chrysalis. So a needed metamorphosis will have to happen. And it felt again like this inner birth that we'd all have to get ready for by doing the inner work of transformation. Watch, do not engage in the struggles. It's not necessary at this time. Rework your purpose to find your own inner peace. Then I saw an Iranian leader, Khomeini came up. It was like a Khomeini-like figure. And apparently the leader of Iran right now is Homendi. So very similar name as Khomeini. There was a ringing of prayer bells in Iran or in the Middle East, a call to purpose, justice. Women were holding tightly to their babies like they wanted to run or hide. The Taj Mahal came up. I see this leader, this Iranian leader having a council meeting discussing what their plans were to do next. There was some resignation and unease in the group, but agreement, doubts if this would be able to be pulled off, whatever was being planned. I, in particular, saw one man who was young. He kind of had a fresh face. He wanted to do the right thing for his country. People were wearing white, like tunic-like clothing, white clothing. Turkey came through as a bridge between the East and the West. It felt like an alternative to war was a pilgrimage. It came to me that if people took pilgrimages right now instead of planning counterattacks or attacks, it would be most advantageous. A pilgrimage site is a bridge. A pilgrimage is necessary. When does it start, I asked. Ramadan came up. Rama means God in Hindi. I think Rama is a name of God in Hindi. A representative of God. A pilgrimage is better than war. I see this leader. I say to this Iranian leader, it's almost like I tried to talk to him and say, pilgrimage, not war, pilgrimage. And in the recesses of his subconscious, I felt like he was hearing me and he was just like, what is this coming through to me? And almost like he was swatting away a fly. And I know it's not funny, but it just kind of seemed funny, like him swatting away a fly. Istanbul. And Peace flags are better than war flags. Unaccounted for civilian deaths all need to be counted in the end. So any deaths that aren't now being acknowledged in the end of time, they will all be acknowledged. Everyone's life will have had a purpose and be acknowledged at the end of time. Iran is planning war. I was thinking of a possible alternative, a peace agreement with Israel, how great a peace agreement would be, but it came to me that Israel won't back down easily or might not back down at all. They're now on the offensive, and then Iranians' nuclear capacity is a worry, came through. And then Somalia, Syria. I see a little boy and girl playing with stones. They're unaware of the political troubles. My energy field keeps being drawn back to the Middle East today and the unrest. Oil barrel comes to mind, small containers of like oil were almost like being held, like an embargo, oil embargo. I see a commercial plane flying overhead. In Australia. So this commercial pilot was in Australia that was flying. I wondered how close Australia is to the Middle East. I wanted to get a perspective in my mind's eye. It didn't feel like it was that close. I wonder about no-fly zones, air confusion, that there could be air confusion in the aerial space. Fighter pilots, missiles, air war, unknown technological abilities until now. There are ET segments in like the galactics, like the Galactic Federation, like a federation of extraterrestrial states and beings that were watching what's happening right now and what humans are going to be doing next. Peace treaties are necessary. I'm retaining hope for this. I see beautiful fauna growing in wetlands, treasures of plant growth that haven't yet been uncovered. There are pieces of earth that still need to be uncovered for its beauty. It's important that we retain hope for the future. And I see like a matador lifting a cape. The bull is charging in. So that's the Akashic report today with a quick plant, tree, bush suggestion with coffee grounds. And if you have any questions, comments, or you have any thoughts about anything, please share. Have a good one.